no-bake chocolate cake built on 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait for those layers. We're starting with the three-part ingredient, 10.6 ounces or 300 grams of chocolate cookies. Crush them into fine crumbs. The finer they are, the more tightly and evenly the base will pack, which gives you cleaner slices later and keeps the crust from falling apart. It also helps the butter coat the crumbs more evenly. Next comes one part, 3.5 ounces or 100 grams of butter. Melt it gently over low heat. We just want it melted, not browned. Pour the melted butter over the cookie crumbs and mix until every bit looks evenly moistened. This is where the dry crumbs start coming together into a real crust, instead of staying loose and crumbly. Transfer the mixture into the ring and press it down firmly, especially around the edges. A flat-bottomed glass works really well here because even pressure gives you a level base, and that means a much cleaner layer when we cut it later. Break up 12.3 ounces or 350 grams of dark chocolate. Pour in 3.4 fluid ounces, about 100 milliliters of hot milk. The heat starts melting the chocolate gently, so give it a moment before you really start stirring. Now stir slowly from the center outward. At first it looks streaky, but as the chocolate melts, everything turns darker, smoother, and much more glossy. You can see the mixture loosen and turn silky as the last pieces melt. That's exactly the texture we want before the cocoa goes in. Add 2.5 ounces or 70 grams of cocoa powder and fold it in until smooth. It deepens the chocolate flavor without adding extra sweetness and thickens the mixture into a richer, firmer layer. Spread the chocolate mixture over the cookie base and work it all the way to the edges. Keep the layer as even as you can. It's much easier to smooth while it's still soft, and that even surface will make the cream layer sit beautifully on top. It also keeps the layers distinct. Now for the four-part ingredient, about 1 2/3 cups or 400 milliliters of heavy cream. Whip it until airy. Heavy cream whips best when cold and holds its shape better, giving us a lighter filling instead of a dense one. Add 3.5 ounces or 100 grams of powdered sugar. It dissolves quickly, keeping the cream smooth. And the two-part ingredient is cream cheese, 7.1 ounces or 200 grams. Fold it in gently so the filling stays airy but still holds its shape. Drizzle in some of the chocolate mixture and fold only a few times. Don't blend away those dark ribbons. We want a marbled cream, not one completely chocolate-colored filling. Those streaks will show up beautifully in every slice. A little unevenness here is exactly what we want. Spoon the marbled cream over the chocolate layer and spread it out gently, working it all the way toward the edges. Try not to press too firmly here. We want to keep as much of that light, airy texture as possible. Now drizzle a little more chocolate over the top. Fold and swirl it through just a few times so those darker ribbons stay visible instead of blending into one color. That extra chocolate gives the filling a deeper cocoa flavor and makes the marble effect even more dramatic. Level the surface gently before the next layer goes on, especially around the edges. A smooth, even top now will make the finish look much cleaner later. Add the cream on top and spread it gently to the edges. Take your time leveling it because this is the surface our chocolate pattern will sit on. A pale, even layer creates clean contrast and makes the dark swirl stand out much more clearly. It also gives the top a softer, cleaner finish. Drizzle the remaining chocolate in a spiral, starting near the outside and working toward the center. Then drag a skewer through the lines to create that marbled pattern. Change direction as you move around the cake, but don't overwork it. A few clean passes are enough. Too much swirling would blur the contrast. You want those lines to stay crisp and visible. That contrast is what makes the pattern look so clean and defined. Alternating the direction gives you that feathered, almost flower-like finish. For the topping, use 3.5 ounces or 100 grams of chocolate chips or chocolate pieces. Chop some into rough shards and keep a few larger pieces for decoration. Different sizes make the top look more natural and give you little hits of chocolate in every bite. If your chocolate is very cold, it can shatter into tiny crumbs, so letting it sit at room temperature makes cleaner pieces for decorating. That mix of sizes keeps the finish from looking too uniform and adds more texture. Scatter the chopped chocolate over the marbled top, then place the larger pieces around the edge. Use the smaller shards to fill a few gaps, but leave plenty of the swirl visible. That way, every slice gets extra chocolate without hiding the pattern we just made. A few open spaces keep the top looking lighter. What chocolate or candy bar should I use next? I'll make the most requested one. Now for the satisfying part. Lift the ring slowly and keep it straight so the sides stay clean. Look at that. The layers are holding beautifully, with enough structure to stand tall, while the filling still looks soft and creamy. Okay, that works really well. That first bite gives you 3 completely different textures. The cookie base is firm and chocolatey, the middle layer is dense and smooth, and then the cream on top feels much lighter. The cream cheese adds just enough tang to keep all that chocolate from tasting overly sweet. Then you get those chocolate pieces on top for a little snap before everything turns creamy again. The dark chocolate and cocoa bring just a touch of bitterness, which gives the whole dessert a deeper flavor. What I really like is how the bite changes as you eat it. It starts rich and chocolatey, then turns creamy, airy, and slightly tangy. The cookie base gives you something substantial to bite into, while that whipped layer almost melts around it. The base stays firm, but it never feels hard or dry. It looks like a really rich cake, but the airy cream keeps the whole thing surprisingly soft. And yes, the simple 1, 2, 3, 4 formula really does work. If you'd make this one, hit like, and if you haven't already, tell me which chocolate or candy bar should be next. I'll make the most requested one. Subscribe to see which idea wins, and save this recipe so you can make it later.